Peak Wealth Management proudly presents Finding True Wealth with certified financial planner Nick Hopwood and accredited investment fiduciary Jim Pilat. Nick and Jim believe by making simple, good financial decisions, you can retire with confidence. And now, let's turn it over to your hosts, Nick and Jim.
Welcome everyone to episode 178 of the Trust the Plan podcast.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Nick.
We mixed it up. I got to go first.
We got to keep it real.
keep our viewers on their toes.
That's right. So today we want to talk about precious metals, right?
Yeah.
You've seen these commercials, right?
You've heard a lot about it lately.
We're getting calls, right?
We are.
Like debt ceiling, the dollar as losing the worldwide reserve status for the currency. What other concerns are out there?
Gold's always been a flight to safety, right? So there's political risk and economic risk, and if everything goes bad, gold is what you want to have.
But right now there's more chatter. I think it's those two things, right? The debt ceiling, a U.S. default coming up here in June potentially, and the second one would be the dollar as the world reserve currency. Okay.
Yep.
So I guess we can speak to those 2 points real quick. So in 2011, we saw the debt problem, and S&P and Moody's, I can't remember which one, they downgraded the U.S. from like AAA to AA plus or something, which was ironic because bonds actually did very well as a flight to safety, whereas stocks, did poorly during that period. But it was over quick. So I think, there's a lot of noise out there. Hopefully our our elected leaders have learned from that 2011 debacle, and we won't have that type of a mess this year, but we'll see.
Yeah, this comes up more often than it ever did, right? Back in the day, the debt ceiling, it's become a political pawn, I feel like, that people use to push agendas.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so if you want to buy gold because you see the ads on TV or you hear the commercials on the radio, you have a few options, right? Now, let me just say, probably 10 years ago, I thought it would be fun to go buy some gold coins. So I actually have 2 coins in my safe, Krugerrands from South Africa.
Okay.
So you can buy like the American Eagle, the US ones, or the South African Krugerrands, and there's probably others that I don't know about. But what's interesting about this is that gold's like $2,000, okay? So when you go down to the jeweler to buy a gold coin, they're actually going to charge you like $2,250. There's a stiff commission on that transaction. So when you sell it, you're going to sell it to the jeweler for a stiff commission as well. So really, if you're paying $250 each turn, there's a lot of friction, so it's hard to make money,
Very true.
10 years ago, gold was like $1,250. So I don't remember how much I think I got a better commission than $250, but it's up, but if I try to sell it now, I'm not going to get $2,000,
Yeah. Anytime something's illiquid or it doesn't have an easily accessible market, there's the commissions and the spreads are really high.
Yeah, it's a terrible market for that.
Yeah.
But let's also say, if there's a doomsday scenario where like the dollar is gone and it's like mayhem, right? I got this coin that's worth $2,000. Okay, what can I do with it? I don't know.
Chip off a little piece and go to the grocery store.
That's 1 ounce, right? So it's the smallest. It's the smallest version of gold. You can get like a Hershey's bar, which is 10 ounces or whatever, or more. I can't remember. So I just don't see that as a realistic, way to spend money, right? It's not a money alternative in any case, in my mind.
No, I agree completely. And I think it always used to be that gold was a flight to safety because supposedly, right, the currency was backed in gold, right? We were gold based, reserves, gold reserves, right? Well, that's not totally the case anymore.
It's not. Yeah.
You know,
from Nixon. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anytime I see these commercials, I just I'm fast forwarding through it, rolling my eyes, okay? And I think you should too, okay? Just listen to us, okay? We have our finger on the pulse. And so I would say if you want to buy gold because you want to have a diversified investment away from the stocks and bonds, that's fine. I think commodities can be a good piece of the portfolio for some people. Not a recommendation, okay? Consult with your financial advisor, right?
But it's a diversifier.
It is.
It can act differently than other markets.
It is. So how can we add gold or silver or other commodities to the portfolios at peak?
Yeah, I mean, the easiest way and the most efficient way to own it is through an ETF. You can own shares in there's different types of ETFs. Some of the gold ETFs will actually track the price of the gold. As it goes up, the value of the ETF changes. Some people say that's not good enough. The commercial told me I have to actually own gold, right? Well, there's actually ETFs out there that every share you have is backed by physical gold in a vault somewhere. And if you ever want to redeem those shares for the actual physical gold, you can do that. So it's kind of a unique way to do it, and it's a lot easier to do that than, stacking the coins in the safe deposit box at the bank, right?
Yeah. And then, okay, so I favor that, the ETF option as a way to gain exposure. That's my preferred way to do it. But there's another way to do it too, which we're getting calls about, right? We actually have to hold the precious metals and transfer the account to another custodian that holds it for you or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that necessary?
Not in my mind. Like you said, my preferred way to do it would be through an ETF as well. But I feel like the commercials and they do a good job of making you feel like the only way you're safe is if you actually own the metal, and the only way to own the metal is to give them a call and own it through their account.
Yeah, and I don't know what those fees are.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm not sure. So I think we're okay with the ETFs, okay? If that's something that we feel like we have to have exposure to.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about gold, give us a call. Next time you see the commercial, fast forward through it, right? What else?
You'll sleep better at night if you do.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's about it. So thank you for listening and watching. And if you would like a second opinion about what you're doing, you can reach out to us at peakwm.com. Please like and share and
hit the subscribe,
subscribe and smash it. Hit the ring button, right?
Yep.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
You've been listening to certified financial planner Nick Hopwood and accredited investment fiduciary Jim Pilat on the Finding True Wealth podcast, sponsored by Peak Wealth Management. You can learn more about Peak Wealth Management by visiting peakwm.com or follow on Twitter at nhopwood1.